So a pretty big blow for the LA Chargers. Rashawn Slater is done for the season with a torn tendon. He suffered this during today's practice, got carted off the field, and it did look pretty serious at the time when he went down and was carted off. Some of his teammates were hugging him and whatnot, so bad news was expected, and sure enough, they got it. Now, Rashawn Slater just signed a huge contract extension earlier this offseason, making him the highest paid offensive lineman in NFL history with a $28.5 million annual salary. So definitely not the ROI that the Chargers want to get after just recently getting that deal done. So a pretty big blow, man, for sure. A year ago, he was a Pro Bowler, only allowing 3 sacks and 22 pressures. So Justin Herbert and that run game are absolutely going to miss Rashawn Slater for this 2025 season. And unfortunately, going forward, I'm not calling him an injury-prone player just yet, but I feel like we have to be very aware of that label just going forward throughout his career, because in 2022 he missed almost essentially the whole season due to torn biceps. Now 3 years later, a torn tendon, which of course he's going to miss the whole season. So I'm not officially there at calling him an injury prone player, but he's kind of getting into that territory for sure. Curious to see how this will affect the market in the sense of the odds of the Chargers potentially winning the AFC West this year. The last time I checked, they were the second favorite to win, right behind the Chiefs, of course. So I'm curious to see if the Broncos will now overtake them, at least in all the betting markets and whatnot. But yeah, man, Chargers fans, talk to me. How do you feel about this news? Obviously not great news at all, but let me know what you think down below. And speaking of the Chargers O-line, I'm really curious to see how Joe Alt fares in his second year in the NFL. I'm really fascinated to see if he can just continue to improve as a player and hopefully become one of the best tackles in the league. Not many remember, but it was kind of low-key a controversial draft pick to a certain extent, because instead of drafting Malik Neighbors, they alted for Joe Alt. And as of today, August 7th, 2025, that draft pick is definitely looking like the right one for sure, even though I think Malik Neighbors is going to be a superstar and a top 5 wide receiver soon enough, as long as just hopefully Jackson Dart can be just somewhat of a competent quarterback in this league. I feel like Malik Neighbors will easily be a top 10 wide receiver throughout the majority of his career. That dude is just special. And I hope he gets more attention than he did a year ago, because, of course, the Giants were just a clown show a year ago. So if he was on like a better team, a playoff team, I feel like that dude would just be talked about a lot more. I don't know, I just feel like the media, YouTubers, and just everyone aren't really hyping him up. I think that dude has potential to be just as good as Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. But back to the Chargers O-line, I'm really curious to see also how Micah Becton does this year. Recently signed from the Eagles after having a pretty good season, a bounce-back year in Philly after being essentially a bust with the New York Jets, and also came away with a Super Bowl ring. So I want to see if he can continue in an upward trajectory for his career, or if he'll go back to his old self when he was with the Jets and just not being that efficient of a guard. And you never know too, because Becton was originally drafted as a tackle for the Jets. He converted to a guard for the Eagles. With this injury to Rashawn Slater, maybe the Chargers might convert him to a tackle. I could definitely see that being a possibility. Now, for the LA Chargers run game, a lot of hype surrounding Hampton. I think he's going to be a pretty great back. Obviously, this news kind of hurts the running back room for this season. And they did recently sign Najee Harris this past offseason, and I don't really expect much from him, but you never know. He is currently dealing with an injury right now. I feel like he should be a competent third down back from time to time. And also kind of strange and just pretty bizarre news. Their linebacker Denzel Perriman was arrested earlier this week, but he was released from jail and there will be no criminal charges. All in all, I guess that's a lot better than him being charged with something and then the Chargers maybe having to cut him or something like that, but good for Denzel, I guess. Now, there's currently 3 Chargers players that I want to highlight that are currently trying to make the team. First is cornerback Nico Reed. He actually had a 60-yard INT return in the Hall of Fame game, which definitely helped him out a lot. In order to make the team, he's going to have a couple more strong outings throughout this preseason. And you also have edge rusher Caleb Murphy. It's more than likely that the Chargers will only have 4 edge rushers on their roster. Khalil Mack, Thule, Bud Dupree, and their recent 4th round pick Kyle Kennard. But Caleb Murphy is going to try to make a push to get a 5th spot as an edge rusher on the 53-man. He was actually the guy that forced the fumble on the opening kickoff on the Hall of Fame game, so keep an eye out on him. If he continues to have a strong preseason, you never know. Might be the feel-good story of the Chargers preseason / training camp this year. And then you have running back Hassan Haskins. There is a battle for the 3rd spot in that running back room because, like I mentioned earlier, Hampton RB1, Najee Harris RB2, and I don't expect anybody to overtake Najee Harris unless he is out for a significant amount of time. I feel like that dude has a lot to prove with how kind of things ended with Pittsburgh and him kind of talking crap about the franchise. I feel like he has a massive chip on his shoulder, but that 3rd RB position definitely up for grabs. In the Hall of Fame game, Haskins had 6 carries for 34 yards with an average of 5.7 yards per carry. Other RBs competing for that position currently are Kamani, Vidal, scored 2 touchdowns in the Hall of Fame game, and then you have Hines, who's been around the NFL for a hot minute. I think it's going to be between Haskins and Vidal, just because they have more upside than Hines. Fresher legs and untapped potential. But I just wanted to bring those 3 guys up for all the hardcore Chargers fans out there. But yeah, man, let me know what you think about Rashawn Slater going down. Do you think it deeply affects their season or not? Let me know in the comments below. If you made this far, please subscribe and like the vid. It'd help out your boy a ton. That's all I got for right now. Peace.
But a great job by the O-line. And the point after is good. The Lions back now for the return. Going to look to try and get back on top. Scores 14-13. It'll be a touchback. The Lions have impressed today with some of these deep passes. Stafford's been showing off that cannon he has for an arm.
Yeah, he's got it all, doesn't he? When you watch him throw the football down the field, you can see the arm strength, but the biggest thing is you can see that wonderful touch on the football. He is laying that football in there right on the money.
First down at the 20. Looking long. And it's knocked down.
That's what you have to do as a defensive back. You got to wait to the last second. Wait till the receiver uses his hands. And once they go up, put your hand in between them and knock that football down. What a play. When you run the football like this and you show toughness, There is no doubt when you fake it and try to throw the football down the field, the quarterback's going to have all day to get it done.
And here's the toss. He's brought down. That's going to bring up 4th down.